All right, guys, today we got a special guest in the house. He is a part of a legendary conglomerate that brought you the heat to some of your favorite records, man. He done work with some of the best in the game. He's an OG, triple OG that has stood the test of time. I'm talking about Psycho Les from the Beatnuts.
What up? What up? What up? What's poppin', man?
Oh, what's good with you, man? How you doing today, bro?
I'm chilling, B. It's good to finally get up with you. You know, we've been going back and forth for a minute.
Yeah, man, definitely. I'm just grateful to have you on the platform. You know, with my interviews, I like to do things in chronological order to give the people a better idea of who you are, where you came from, and how you got to where you are today. So, where were you born?
I was born in the boogie down Bronx, 1970. My parents, they're from Colombia, and they had me out there. They was out here in the States. So, that's where I was born.
Dang, I never knew that you were from the Bronx because you always rep Queens. I don't think I've watched like almost every interview and I haven't heard you say that before.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the Bronx till I was 10 years old. So, I was raised out there, the projects, like Yankee Stadium, 160 and all that, South Bronx. But then like around 12 years old, that's when I came over to Queens. My parents moved to Queens and shit.
So what was that like for you growing up there? Because I mean, there was a heavy Latino community already there. So what was that like for you during that time, seeing it come up, and especially during hip hop?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Where in the Bronx or in Queens?
Yeah, in the Bronx.
In the Bronx, I mean, I was mostly a child, during those times. So, it was just good times, as a kid, living next to the Yankee Stadium, and that was like Reggie Jackson days, So when he was big, I remember the truck driving by through the hoods, just throwing out chocolate bars, Reggie Jackson chocolate bars to all the kids, and just that life,
Yeah. How'd you
But
did you I'm sorry, go ahead.
at the age of 10, my parents, my father and my mom's, we went to Colombia. So I lived in Colombia for 2 years at the age of 10. So by the time I was 12, my mom's, we went back to Queens. That's how I ended up in Queens. So I was back in Queens when I turned 12,
Wow. So did you grow up with any siblings during this time? Or is it just you?
I mean, yeah, it was just me so far. But then, like my mom's, when we was out in Colombia, that's when they had my brother. My brother was on his way, So
Got you. So what was that like for you? You living in the Bronx for like 10 years and then you moved back to originally where your parents are from, right? For 2 years. So what was that like to experience?
I mean, it was beautiful in Colombia. My father, he owned a lot of acres and farms and things. They was doing things. Colombian Mafia shit that I was too young to even understand. But like now, I look back, like my pops was transporting guns, a lot of guns. He was packing big things of guns, so he would use the family, so it could look like a family trip, So they see the mother, they see the son, But really, they was taking care of business. I was just a kid, just going for the ride, just watching them load up, packing up things. They used to, I used to see him break down TVs and break down guns and put them into pieces inside the television. He used to break down like irons, that you iron clothes with, and break up pieces of guns all up in there, and just have big trunks full of ammunition and just crazy shit, because you got to think in the 80s, there was you could just throw all that shit in, and they wasn't checking x-rays and all that shit in the airports, So it was.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So what is like your processing in your mind when you seeing it though, like as a kid?
I'm a kid, man. I was raised around guns and all that shit. So it was nothing, you know. I just thought my father was just into guns and he just liked guns. He had a lot of pretty guns and dope shit. But at the same time, you know, like when I got older, I was like, wow, you know, my pops was doing this shit and doing that, and he was connected in Colombia with a lot of, you know, a lot of things going on. So
Right.
it was crazy.